Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead, and it's zucchini time again. Okay, as I do every year, I'm going to dehydrate some zucchini. Now last year I dehydrated it in shreds, and you know what? I didn't use it as much. So this year I'm going to dehydrate it in slices, because if you know, there's times when you can't get your hands on fresh vegetables, and I like to put things like, we'll put that aside for the piggies, I like to put fresh vegetables in things like my mac and cheese casserole. I like to put broccoli, and I like to put spinach. But if I can't get to the store, you know, it's nice to have a jar of sliced, dehydrated zucchini to put a layer of vegetable in a casserole. So I'm just going to peel this. Now the reason I wouldn't normally peel it, because there's a lot of nutrients and stuff in the skin, but skin gets tough when it dehydrates or freezes. So it gets tough, and then it doesn't rehydrate well. Now, folks, I've got 3 lovely zucchinis here. This is not all the zucchini I have. Zucchini is a wonderful vegetable. Folks, if you don't like zucchini, you might want to rethink why you don't like zucchini, because it is so good for you, and it has so many uses that people just don't think about. I use it in my chocolate zucchini bread. These ones are a little bit thicker than the mandolin slicer would make, but these are also going on the top rack. I always rotate my racks. Now folks, I don't know if I've said it already, but even if you're in an apartment and you have a balcony, if you can get a flower pot that has the width of this tray and goes 12 inches deep, you can grow zucchini. And zucchini is very prolific. And unlike its other squash counterparts, it doesn't climb all over the place. It just flourishes in these big umbrella-like leaves, and you get beautiful foliage. But you also get a vegetable that starts producing at the end of July, depending on where you live. I live in Canada. And as long as you keep it fed and watered and pruned and picked, you will get lots of zucchini. Now some people like to leave their zucchini get really big. I don't. The big one that I sliced up in the beginning is about as big as you'll see me do, because the skin gets woody, they get full of seeds and stuff. I'm probably, because these were Black Beauty Organics, I'm probably going to allow one to get really big, really woody, hit by a frost, and then I will save the seeds. Now, what I've been doing with these trays of zucchini, and look at these trays. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 8 trays of zucchini out of 3 zucchinis here. Now, what I've been doing is I have been just adding a little salt. Well, it started because I salted a piece to eat it. But I've just been adding a little bit of salt before I stack it onto the next tray. Don't add it when it's on there, because salt will go down through your trays and will mess with, or you'll get your bottom trays will be really salty. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of salt. And there we go. 8 trays of zucchini. Now I'm going to set my dehydrator at 115 degrees. It calls for 135 for fruits and vegetables, but with zucchini, I just want to make sure I maximize the vitamin and nutrient retention, and that works better if you dehydrate it at a slightly lower temperature. But when it comes to dealing with things like meat and stuff, always follow the manufacturer's directions. Okay folks, here we are with our dehydrated zucchini, and all I'm going to do is just put it in the jar. What I am noticing is the ones that I sliced with the mandolin slicer are really, really thin and have a tendency to stick more than the slightly thicker ones that I sliced by hand. But don't be afraid to push these down in the jar, because you want to keep as much air and humidity out of your jar as possible. This is the Mrs. Wolfe from our half-acre homestead saying dehydrated zucchini for soups, stews, casseroles, zucchini bread. If you are on a gluten-free diet and you want to make meatloaf and you don't want to use any kind of floured bread or anything like that, grind up some dehydrated zucchini and use it as your filler for your meatloaf. The possibilities are limitless. Take care. Bye-bye.